Donald Trump's administration is apparently launching a sweeping purge of dozens or perhaps more FBI agents from across the country who happen to work on investigations looking into the crimes that he and his supporters were alleged to have committed over the last few years. We know that at the FBI, at least 6 senior FBI leaders have already been ordered to retire, to resign, or be fired by Monday. Some may be fired as soon as the end of today. Interim leaders at the DOJ have spent the past week apparently drawing up lists of people whose work at the Bureau have earned disfavor with Trump for a variety of reasons. Agents and analysts have been warned by FBI leadership that they may be asked to resign or face termination. And we have sort of an example of that already coming out. This comes in the form of emails sent by James McHenry, the acting attorney general, to those being ousted that includes language that reads, quote, "Given your significant role in prosecuting the president, I do not believe that the leadership of the department can trust you to assist in implementing the president's agenda faithfully." And these agents are apparently trying to explain that they don't volunteer for this work, they're put on these jobs and they do their job to the best of their ability. That's what they do. And especially considering the significant evidence against Donald Trump and his supporters on things like the documents case and the attempt to overturn the results of the election and the insurrection and the fake electors, it doesn't seem like they were just kind of willy-nilly making things up. But anyway, many of them might end up having to go. It could be dozens, it could be hundreds. And here is a statement from the FBI Agents Association. They said, "If true, these outrageous actions by acting officials are fundamentally at odds with the law enforcement objectives outlined by President Trump and his support for FBI agents. Dismissing potentially hundreds of agents would severely weaken the Bureau's ability to protect the country from national security and criminal threats, and will ultimately risk setting up the Bureau and its new leadership for failure." And it just, I mean, this is a great example of the escalation that we have in Trump's second term. Because in the first term, he got rid of James Comey for not being loyal enough. Now he's getting rid of dozens, maybe hundreds, a significant chunk of the special agents because he feels that they weren't loyal enough, just because they did the job that they were ordered to do. And this is definitely going to impact our national security. These special agents look into all sorts of things. They've foiled militia plots and terror attacks and attempts to start race wars. Well, now they're not gonna be as capable of doing that. And isn't it ironic that it comes less than 2 weeks after a bunch of people who've already shown a willingness to commit acts against the government have been released back out into the general population? Now we have the FBI being, at least to some extent, hamstrung in the ability to stop any potential crimes that might come about as a result of that, or just the general normalization that we've experienced of political violence over the past few years. So we don't know at this point exactly how far this will go, who will be left, what the special qualifications will be for the people who will eventually replace them, other than just refusing to admit who won the 2020 election, but it certainly doesn't look good.
Yeah, so we can be outraged. I just don't want us to be surprised. This is why I voted against Trump, because when he got into office, was he gonna fire anyone that had anything to do with his case out of spite and bitterness? Of course he was. So when you went to vote for Trump, you were going to vote for firing these FBI officials. That's exactly what we tried to tell you here on the show. And so if you voted for Trump and you're surprised, boy, you're gonna be surprised a lot, right? Because you're gonna get a lot more where this came from. And so, look, why is that so important to me? Because I'm not just worried about those particular guys and the nonsensical nature of the firings, as John pointed out. First of all, a lot of the people that are fired who run field offices had almost nothing to do with any of the Trump cases. They just have been targeted for political reasons. God knows why, I don't even know why. And the ones that did work on the Trump cases, yeah, but brother, you took the frickin' documents, top secret documents, and you brought them to Mar-a-Lago. What did you want him to do? Did you want him to say, yeah, let the president break the law, he's above the law? That would have been not doing their job. And that's the higher ups. And then the other guys you fired, their higher ups gave them a job. You don't even know they might be hardcore Republicans. You don't know anything about them, but you fired them anyway. Why? Because you wanted to be able to say that, hey, I get to terminate the Constitution and I lost the election, but I don't like it and I want to cry about it, apparently to the end of time. Even if I win the presidency again, I'm never gonna stop crying about it. Okay, so all those things we know, but then who's he gonna replace him with? You think they're gonna be unbiased? You think the guy who fires all these guys that either did or didn't have anything to do with his cases, does that for a political reason, isn't going to put in political people into those positions?
It could be Kash Patel choosing.
Yeah, and what are they choosing based on? Our collective safety? I would be shocked. Probably for whatever crazy plan they got coming next. And guys, so is the crazy plan to start gulags all over the country? I don't know, but I'm a little skeptical about that. Yeah, I know they're gonna deport a lot of people. They're gonna need space to put the people they're deporting. I understand, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like this generalized fear that people have that concentration camps are gonna be all over the country, right? I don't think that's the main issue. I hope to God I'm right about that. I often say I hope I'm wrong about my predictions, but this one I hope I'm right about, and that isn't. Their main driving issue is robbery, okay? So they're gonna wanna have the American taxpayers back up their crypto crap, okay? They're gonna do giant tax cuts. They're gonna do, anyone who's corrupt is gonna get a pardon. That's what Trump has done in the past. They're thinking one for Eric Adams, even though he's a Democrat. They're like, but he is corrupt, we like that, right? So they're probably gonna put in people who are not going to investigate corruption. They haven't done it yet, so we don't know. But there's a certain pattern, and it's like that drain the swamp was the most ironic thing that any politician has ever said. All right, Ramesh.
I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. We remember who said that when? That was our former and current president in statements he made back in 2016 or while he was running for president in 2016. So you can imagine that he has always thought that not only is he above the law, that he is the law, or the law is him, or whatever. The law serves the powerful. Whatever it is about serving him and the others who have such power, right? So you can imagine how, correctly or not, I mean, in many cases, totally accurately, as you were saying, Cenk, from the letter of the law, the Democrats, starting on day one, really wanted to investigate this guy, right? From Russia to other issues, et cetera, right? So you can imagine how that's going to generate so much of vindictiveness. It doesn't justify it, but he has always thought he's way above the law. He's always thought he could get away with anything and everything. It's just very, very clearly what this guy is all about. So note in the quote that you shared, John, it's said that these agents, I'm paraphrasing, would not serve the president's agenda. It's very, very clear that what they are saying is the FBI should just support the president's agenda, whatever it is, whether it's lawful or not. Look at Kash Patel as an example of this. So this is what's going on here, and we're all just gonna have to brace for it. But we all should also recognize that the attempt to try to get this guy who's been a criminal in many different ways for many, many decades, and not be able to actually get him on any of these issues ultimately is going to mean that the blowback's going to be hard, heavy, and intense for all of his political opponents, or one who he sees as not sort of bending the knee to him.
100%. I mean, look, we have to take our second break, but I'll just throw it out as we go to our break. Like, imagine if day one, Biden, he's inaugurated and he's like, you know what, we've just had this terrible attack on the country, and I want to make sure that we have the exact right people to prosecute not only the people on the ground who did it, but the planners. So I'm purging 25% of the special agents, and I'm bringing in people who understand the unique threat to democracy that we just survived, and will investigate everyone who did. Like, can you imagine what Fox News would have said? Absolute madness.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.